don't use these AI things to make money. What you do is you find out how to make money and you use the AI things to make things more efficient. And then you just go into Claude or go into Gemini Studio and just tell it, hey, build me this software. And it will just build the entire thing for you. You yourself is the most unique thing out there. No two individuals are the same. So don't let AI do all your thinking for you. I believe that a lot of times you need to get smacked in the face, like to learn what's wrong with you. I think that's actually not the most positive thing about AI is that it always tells you you're right.
One of the most helpful things, I've watched some YouTube videos of a strategy someone's doing for AIP. Without watching the video, I just copy the transcript, put it in ChatGPT, and be like, what's this person's strategy? Make me a checklist. And then I listened to the video and it was exactly that person's strategy.
By the way, if you're listening to this and you don't mind to dial, you have to be in the United States, Eastern time zone. That was a sale. If you just heard that ching in the background.
I didn't hear.
Live sale in action.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Side Hustle Experiment podcast. Today, we're just going to do a catch-up episode, give it a little bit of an update on what we're up to, what's going right, what's going wrong. We're going to talk a little bit about AI as well. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. I had the best day I've had yesterday. I
Really?
I you that in the morning, right?
You did. Did you hit it?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't hit my best overall revenue day. It was my best overall profit day. I think I made $630 on one offer and then $130 on the other offer. So it was almost $1,000 profit day. Today's not doing as well, but it's random, man. I could start great in the morning and then it kind of die throughout the day or vice versa. But pretty nice.
What do you think the growth is? Like, are you doing anything different, or do you think it just more people? Do you notice on the ads that more people see it 2 or 3 times and they're like, all right, I'm going to click on it now, or you can't see that?
No, I mean, you can kind of see that with frequency in ads. You can see how many times people view your whole ad set or whatever. My frequency is not that high. It's a lot of people just clicking it and going. I get comments on it being like, hey, I saw this last week. I'm going to buy it now. But a lot of it's just, they're hard hitting hooks. So people buy based on that. The thing that's changed everything is just raising my prices. The guy I've been working with, he was just like, so initially I had the front end and the upsell was $47. And he's like, okay, raise it to 77. And the take rate stayed exactly the same, but I just added $30, which basically doubles the offer, or it times the offer by 1.3. Then he's like, okay, we'll just raise it to 97, which is over 2x my upsell price. Stayed exactly the same. So now I've literally doubled the back end of the offer. And then today I just raised it to 127. So it's if that happens, then I'm basically getting 3 front ends for every time someone buys one upsell. And then I have plans. And right now I'm getting let's see, I have 53 users in the last 7 days. And today so I have 58 in the last 7 days. It's 8 people a day or so. So I'm going to try to set up some kind of closer that I can collect phone numbers and they can dial, and then I can sell a $500 high ticket type thing. That's the new, because I got to do something to really increase the revenue. I mean, I'm not even spending much on ads, $250, $300 a day, but I'm double my money. So basically I put $1, get $2 out, but to grow, make 10, 15, 20 grand a month, I'll have to do some type of high ticket. Like that. That's not a high ticket. $500 isn't high ticket, obviously, but
Yeah, I also think too, raising your prices. I think that's good. I get hit with your ads all the time. I don't know if it's because we text or whatever, and Facebook is just serving stuff to me. And it's just super. I was like, oh wow, this looks awesome. And I do think, me personally, I don't think I'd really buy anything for $35.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be more inclined to buy something for 97. I'm like, oh, if it's 97, this is probably decent. At 33, I'm like, this is probably some AI slop. I could go put this in myself. So I do think in that case, there's definitely, I don't know, something there to a higher price.
Well, I haven't raised the front end. The front end's the same. If anything, ironically, I think I'm going to lower the front end and make a different offer because you just want more people in your front end. Once someone pays you $1, they're more likely to pay you more than $1. So the front end price, I'm going to test lower, maybe test higher, but that's just down the line because I want to try to get as many front ends if I can have a setter or a closer like call them. Like if I gotta have somebody that their job is just call all these people like and say, hey, how are you doing with everything? And then like we have this offer where we like build everything out for you, and it's like $500. If I can get like one of those people a day, I mean that's an extra $3,500 a week. That's like, okay, now I'm making a shitload of money because this month I'll probably make like $8,000 profit total. But like to grow it to 30 grand or 40 grand, okay, that's going to take like some little bit more effort than just like raising the ad spend and praying.
Yeah, okay, I can see that now that you said that. Okay.
Yeah, and the guy told me like, so I offer something like that now, and it's like $67, and I sell it in the email after. He's like, you could sell this for $500 to $1,000 if you can get on the phone with these people. I was like, all right, I mean, I can do that. I just got to find somebody who's like willing to grind, and like if I can find some closer. By the way, if you're listening to this and you don't mind to dial, you have to be in the United States, Eastern Time Zone. That was a sale. If you just heard that ching in the background,
I did hear.
live sale in action. But if you're in the U.S., I mean, I need someone who can just like dial these numbers, and then I'm going to pay $100 a close. I think so. 20% commission on a $500 sale. So that's pretty good.
Wow.
Like closers
Okay.
get 10%, and they don't have to do shit. Like these are not Zoom calls. So I got to find someone to do that. Unless someone on the podcast you want to start dialing for me. But yeah, I think that'll grow it like a lot. And I know a lot of people do that anyways. Like you get called by people like that randomly. So hey, it's not, as long as they opt in, it's legal.
I think knowing the offer, it could totally work because they probably going to read it and they're going to be like, all right, I could do this. And then like anything else, you kind of stumble on a couple roadblocks and you're just like, all right, I'm not doing this. Mm-hmm. So I do think like if they did call and you're like, you know what, we'll take care of all the ads, all the marketing, and you just have to show up. I think that could be like a really big sell.
Yeah, definitely. And then on the astrology type thing, that's all right. I mean, the problem with that's the CPMs are so high. Like yesterday, I paid $85. Now I'll tell you, I just read this this is unbelievable. Yesterday, I paid $81 in ad spend, and it only got me 29 page views. So I'm paying like $3 for someone to see my page. You know how terrible that is? Like that's horrendous. But the thing is, out of those 30 people, 7 people purchased. So the conversion rate's like 25%, which is really ridiculous because most offers, like you want between 1% and 3%, 4 or 5% if you're really good, 10% if you're like really, really, really good and you have a specific offer. But this is like hovering around 10% all the time. But the problem with that is just so expensive to get people on the website. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. I also just don't know the market. This guy just kind of gave me the offer. But maybe it's profitable. I made like $400 with it in the last 8 days. I guess that's decent.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just launched a new one, test one last night. The dude I'm working with, bro, it's just like launch another offer, work more, like having me work all the time. And I'm like, I didn't realize how much I wasn't doing. And like just taking action, it's like if you just take action and keep doing stuff, like inevitably you're going to make this stuff work, which I'm learning that. And he's telling me like, yeah, you work really fast. That's the only reason I'm accomplishing like any of this shit right now.
How do you think you're able to work that fast then?
AI. Yeah, for sure. Like, dude, my process of this stuff, like he only uses ChatGPT. I think I told you that. But I use ChatGPT. Dude, I think it's terrible. So I like use it when I'm, meal prepping and like need to get like quick information where I can talk to it. But I don't really use it at all. I use Claude and Gemini.
Okay.
Yeah. So like for example, I guess we're talking about this stuff. I mean, maybe this will give you some ideas too, because I really haven't talked to you about like my process through this. And I don't think a lot of people do this. So for my example, like I just gave those ad stats and everything. You can export a CSV of your ad stats. So you can do this too. Now let's just reference like the influence program back and forth. So you can definitely export some CSV, right? Of like how much money you've made from videos. If you can come up with a document of like what's good and what's bad, like what's like the goal for like these videos? Is it like higher conversion rates? Is it higher dollar amount per conversion? Who cares if the conversion rate's high, if my dollar amount's higher? Creator connection stuff. Like, do I get more free products that like, if you have a document that's like, okay, here's like the Bible of this stuff. You put that in a Claude project And now that project knows that. And it needs to reference that every time. So when you make this new prompt, you'll say, hey, reference the project files. I have 2 documents like this. They're huge. They're like 30 pages each, but they're very like specific. So every day, I've already done this today. I upload my CSV of the last 7 to 10 days of the ad data, which that's like the freshest data. And I say, hey, based off all these documents, read like this data and tell me what are my outliers, some random patterns, and like my biggest winners. And we're going to come up with variations. So for the ad specifically, I can upload like the creative, like the images, and then it'll like read those. But for you, you could upload like, here's the exact product, here's the Amazon listing of this thing. So like here are these type of listings. Let's go find more, that are like this.
Mm.
So you can have it read this like large chunks of data, which you could read yourself, but like you're not going to be able to see certain patterns. Like,
Yeah.
and you might not see some, like, for example, some of these ads have like super low cost per clicks. So like they're getting tons of people on the website, but they're not converting. Well, that just shows that the ad is hitting hard, but the website's not hitting hard. So then I can go, okay, well, I'm just going to make a new website and just change the headline to that ad. And I'll just throw it in its own campaign, $3 to $5 a day, and let it go. And that has converted for me like crazy. Like all I do is take maybe it hasn't got any purchases, but it's got like really high intent, and just make a subdomain and the new thing. And it's like, okay, those convert ridiculous every single time. Like my best winning ad right now, it's got 4x ROAS on like $250 spend. And that's how I found it. It was completely dead, had not got any purchases, but the cost per click was so low. I'm like, all right, let's just try to match it with the headline. And now I've spent $205 on it this month, and it's brought in like over $850. So just but the only reason I knew that is I put all that data in there, and I'm like, oh, didn't even know that was a thing. So if anyone's in a database thing, I'm sure Amazon, if you're still somehow selling on Amazon, you can probably still do that too.
Yeah, I do use it for the influencer program a lot. I've been trying to do a little bit more investing in products. So I've been buying a lot of products that have good potential to make money. It's wild. It's definitely different. So like one of the best things about the influencer program is like you really don't need to spend any money to like start making commissions. But the more and more people I talk to that are making like, let's call it over 10K a month, I'm probably just under that with actually I am doing like kind of 10K months with everything all together. But to just do on Amazon commission alone, you gotta all these people invest in products. Either invest in products, do Airbnbs, or almost have like a community where they're like kind of pushing these products or whatnot. So I've been like doing a lot more of that. I've been using ChatGPT a lot to be like, hey, some seasonal, like what holidays are coming up and what products will people be buying. That's been like super helpful. And then also, like you were saying with data, I've definitely uploaded my sales data in there. Be like, all right, what's selling, what's not selling. Like when you have like 4,000 videos, it's kind of crazy to like determine what's really working, what's not working, just all sorts of stuff. So I use it a lot for that, and also for brand deals. Like people will message me, they'll be like, oh, we're going to send you a $500 product, but there's no like compensation to make the video. I mean, a lot of the times, like the $500 product, like gets cut in half by the time like they launch it. And it's like just like a shitty, like no one's buying it or whatever. So it's just like, I'll just put it in ChatGPT. I don't know. Do you think I should get Claude?
It just depends. Like Claude's for writing, and like a ChatGPT can only, I think it just is limited. Like, I don't know. Okay, tell me your scenario. I'll tell you exactly what you should do. Like, I think I know enough about AI right now, like 100%, that, like, for example, that offer I was just telling you that I launched, I tested this yesterday. I had the idea one day ago, and I did a bunch of research on YouTube with Gemini, because if I ever do YouTube or Google research, I use Gemini because it's Google, and deep research is cheaper on there. It's faster than everything else. So I do that at the beginning and then launch it all on either Lovable or some kind of page builder. But really, I use ChatGPT for this to custom code pages. So like, hey, this is what I want. Custom code this page into a block so I can put it on like a page builder. But I've used this stuff really fast. So if there's what's the scenario? And I can tell you kind of like what process you can use.
So a lot of the times I am like a brand will reach out and they'll, like we said before, the product. Yeah, they'll email or Instagram. So usually I found like I don't know, maybe it's not like a hack, but like I'll just screenshot instead of like copy and paste and just upload the image, and then I'll be like, hey, um, this is what I want. Like it has to be, they have to pay me at least $50, like make it sound, like I'm interested. And then basically all my stipulations, like I'm not installing it, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. And then it like spits out a response. It saves me so much time. Like I get like anywhere from like 5 to 10 of these a day at this point. So like that's saving a lot of time that way.
Yeah, but like, okay, so what's the bottleneck?
Oh, for that there really is no bottleneck. I just don't use Claude, so I was like, maybe I should
Yeah,
get Claude
I mean,
to do
ChatGPT
some other stuff.
writing just sucks. Like when we talk about like titles for the podcast and stuff, I can literally tell every time when it's a ChatGPT title, or
Yeah,
like I'll read all your emails you send out, like when you promote the podcast or whatever, and I can like tell little things where Claude doesn't do that, like at all. Like obviously the big hyphens, ChatGPT will do that, but
yeah,
ChatGPT loves to be like, "Ah, it's not a this, it's a this. Or we're not a this kind of podcast. We're a this,
yeah.
like, and that shit just sucks, dude. But like, the patterns are weird when Claude's like way more human esque. It has its own problems. Claude will do
Mm.
some weird stuff, but overall, you can train it to where it won't be a weird writer. And I haven't tried Gemini much, but I don't really like what it
I
comes
might
with.
just try Claude just because and kind of see.
Yeah, I mean, you can really just upload tons of. You make a project, like the projects in Claude are really good too. So you make a project, put the files in, give it like really detailed instructions, like, hey, no using this, like make it really natural. What you could really do, man, is pull in like transcripts of like some of our highest performing podcasts or something, and then just put those in the files, and then be like, hey, write like I talk. So and then just like clean it
Okay,
up. But so your emails would be more like that, and that's what I'll do.
interesting.
And then like, well, I'll give a good process too. Hopefully this is valuable for people. Not all you guys are running podcasts or whatever, but this is decent. But how I do our thumbnails for the YouTube videos, and I'd like to think they're great because our views have like doubled recently. Even on
Yeah.
videos that I'm just like, I don't think that's going to do that well. They have been, either the title or the thumbnail. But I take the transcript out of Riverside, and I have a Claude project that's, I'll tell you exactly what it is. So it's called, nice. It's just, my Claude is broken right now. Here's YouTube thumbnail prompter. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I can't do this while I'm streaming or something. Anyway, it's got all these instructions that it's like, hey, use the project files, and it's got like Hormozy and Mr. Beast thumbnails, and then it has like some guide I found online how to make really good thumbnails from someone. Like reference those. I'm gonna give you a transcript, and you come up with 5 different text overlays for a title or for a thumbnail, and then I'll approve those, and you give me prompts for them, and then I put those in Gemini, and it creates the background for the thumbnail. I haven't got it to where it's like automated to where I can put us
Mm,
in there. I have to still put us on there, but as you can tell, like the backgrounds of those are highly relating to the title and like kind of make it fun,
yeah.
futuristic.
Before we get into that, I wanted to let you know I created a totally free guide to get approved for the Amazon Influencer Program, how to scale it up, how I literally went from zero to $50,000 in just Amazon commissions alone. There'll be a link down below. The guide is absolutely free. It's about 33-ish pages, and I have a whole video walking you through the whole guide. So if you want to start making money on the Amazon Influencer Program, definitely click the link below.
And I think I'll get better at that too, but I don't ever prompt any of this stuff. Like I never create a prompt. It's very important about AI. I never say like, hey, change this email or whatever. I would be like, hey, um, if you were tasked with doing X, or if this was the goal, then create me like a very good prompt to do that, and then try to put it into another one. So using ChatGPT to help you
Uh,
prompt Claude, that's better than just trying to prompt it. And then a lot of times you can just voice chat and ramble along to Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever, and then the output prompt that it gives you, you put it into the one you prefer to use.
are you using the Whisper flow?
Yeah.
I
Only
just
on
got it
Claude.
the other day.
Yeah. ChatGPT doesn't need it. Right.
Right, yeah. But I just got it the other day. I'm like, all right, this is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's helpful. I haven't even really looked into the stuff you can do with it. I'm sure you can go back on that. That's probably got some AI thing that's like, hey, you talked about this a while ago. How's this going? The updates like that makes it convenient.
For sure. Are you using what is it called? The claw bot or whatever? Is that what
No,
it's called?
no. I think that a lot of these AI tools, I mean, if you don't, I saw someone say this, dude, this is probably the best like explanation of this. He was like, don't use these AI things to like make money. What you do is you find out how to make money and you use the AI things to make things more efficient. And the Clawbot thing, like, I think it's a little bit overhyped. I'm sure there are ways that it's
Mm.
applicable, but it's really expensive. Like, you have to buy a Mac Mini and then you have to use tokens on Claude or whatever. So, I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of use case for it. I haven't seen anyone that's really blown my mind with what they've done with it.
That's like everything on my Instagram feed. It's like every day someone's buying like a Mac Mini. And then like I kind of watched a couple YouTube videos today about like what it does, and I'm just like, I don't know if I exactly need this at this point, but like it seems like a cool idea. And I think everyone that talks about it, it's just like is hyping it up so much. It's like you're gonna get left behind. Like this Mac Mini is like someone posted a picture. It's like of like 5 MacBook Minis. Like I just hired 5 employees. I'm just
Mhm.
like like I wonder like what they're gonna be doing.
Yep.
But then it's also like too like I wonder what happens like if they're running 24/7. I mean that's pretty insane.
Yeah,
Like
I
you
don't
basically just
know.
have like a like basically in your basement like a data center that just runs like 24/7.
Yeah, and what are they doing? Like, are they generating revenue for your business? I don't really know. I haven't looked enough into it, but really, the reason I haven't is because I was telling the guy that I'm working with, like, oh, I use Claude, I use Gemini, and he's like, I only use ChatGPT, like to write, to do images, to do everything. And I was like, dude, like, and he's a lot smarter than me with all this stuff. I'm like, why do you do that? And he's like, well, I just like to make everything as simple as possible. So like, his whole thing is just making a really good hook, like period. I was asking if you use Microsoft Clarity. If anybody doesn't know what that is, you can look it up. But you install it on your website and you can see visitors on the website, where they click, where they're from, what device they're on, a lot of like user data. But he was just like, well, as you know, like humans are not robots. So just because like two people act the same way doesn't mean like you have no clue what they're thinking or how they got there, or if that's even a person that's there for the right reason. Maybe they're trying to swipe your shit, like you never even know. So
True.
all that data, is it really even mean anything? Like, no. The only thing that matters is like conversions. It doesn't matter how long they stay there, it doesn't matter how short they stay there. And I always thought that clarity data was, and maybe it is a big deal for some people, but the real thing is, the hook, which is like what your claim is, what your promise is going to be your biggest needle mover. And then how do you get better at that? You just write more of them, you test more of them. So what tool do you have to be as efficient as possible with doing that and do as many as possible? Instead of, I'm going to make the process really complicated and you end up quitting, how can I just do as much possible with like the most simple tools as possible? So that was a bit of an eye opener for me. Like, now I use ChatGPT a lot for image generation. I will say that, because it's not as
Uh,
fast, but it's just the most basic. I know the text is going to be right. It might not be the most beautiful ad, but I know the text is going to be right. Okay, I can test way more like that.
that makes a lot of sense. I have noticed that a lot. Yeah, ChatGPT is definitely for images and stuff like that. It used to be really bad. Like the text
Terrible.
would be
Yeah.
like, oh my god, it'd be like all over the place. But yeah, it's definitely got a lot better.
Yeah, but Gemini's a lot faster than Anna Banana, but I've noticed it's not as consistent. And for some reason, like, I don't know if it's just me, whenever I use it more and more, the results will just turn terrible. Like, they'll just be like, I'll generate 10 images and the 10th one will just be a train wreck. But ChatGPT is like very consistent over time.
Yeah, I would say because I have used Gemini a little bit to do like thumbnails and stuff or attempt to make like images, and the image almost always gets worse.
Yeah.
Like when you're talking to ChatGPT, like it will, the thing I don't get about ChatGPT, it doesn't happen as often, but like they'll spit out the image and like sometimes I'll get frustrated, I'll be like, no, do this or add that. Like I told you to do this. I found like a good prompt is like, do you see where it's messed up? And it knows where it's messed up, but it still
Can't fix
generated that image. And most of the times it can correct it. Um, or I do what you kind of were saying, like ask it like, hey, if I wanted to put Drew's face on this, like what would be a good prompt for that?
it. Mhm.
And then it will like create that prompt and it's like, okay, do that. I think that's kind of the hack to using it.
Yeah,
Is like getting the prompts or having it ask you questions. Be like, all right, this is what I'm trying to do. Ask me questions till you have an answer. Okay, now generate a prompt and then use that prompt. It does take longer, but in the end, it saves you a bunch of time just going back and forth with it, I think.
definitely. Yeah, and one really important thing is to ask questions. Almost everything I do, it's going to require. Like if I have to write a sales page or whatever, I have to write something bigger, and I'm like, well, the problem with AI a lot is what you're saying. It can't fix things very easy. So if you tell it something and it
Yeah.
does it wrong, dude, fixing it is going to require so much work. So the best thing to do is just make sure it gets right on the first time, so you can add stuff. It's very hard to subtract stuff from it, from what I've
Yeah.
noticed. So saying before you do something big, like ask me any question you need to get this right, that helps so much. And then you just answer the questions, and then you answer those, and then you go ask me any more questions if you feel it's needed, and just keep letting it go until it's got like enough information where it can one shot something out. But
And
if you
make sure
don't,
you got to say one at a time
yeah,
because it's going to like shoot you like 10 or 20 questions and then
yeah,
it's super annoying to answer all those questions.
yeah. I try to keep it to five. So I'm like, yeah, ask me like five most important questions, right? Like ask me some like pressing questions that we really need to know, and it can shoot it out pretty good. Have you coded anything yet? Like made any software or whatever?
No, I kind of want to do that or get into that. Have you?
Yeah, a ton. I mean, I haven't
Is it
used it.
hard? Is it
No,
complicated? Okay.
no.
I just have this vision in my head that it's like super complicated and I'm just going to start doing it. All right, go over your process of creating it because I'm going to try this.
Yeah, but this is harder because what we're just talking about, this is like on steroids because this takes a lot of credits from stuff. So I mean, you're on payment plans, but like let's say you can run out quick, especially Claude. They have pretty low limits on like a $20 a month plan. You get $200, you can do a ton. And Gemini, you'll run out of tokens there too. But I'll usually go to Claude or ChatGPT to plan this and be like, hey, this is my. I'm trying to think of something that you could make. Um, I haven't used anything in a bit, but I used to make these like ad softwares where I would like upload my ads every day and then it would just read them and just create me variations. I've just found it was slower than when I did it myself. I'm sure I could automate it. I was just kind of being lazy because I've never uploaded the project and like had it connected to stuff, connected to APIs, that type of thing. I haven't done that. I just like make them where I upload stuff. It connects to a Google Sheet by code and then we'll do it that way. That all
Oh,
sounds complicated, but um, I would go make the plan in ChatGPT or Claude and then just tell it what exactly you want. If you have screenshots from other softwares for the UI, you can be like, hey, I like this UI of this software. The overall goal of this is I can put in this or it can pull data from this and then give me this back. And I'm sure that like you have something like that right now that would help you do that. It would make you more money. I don't know what it would be, but and then you just go into Claude or go into Gemini Studio and just tell it like, "Hey, build me this software," and it will just build the entire fucking thing for you. Especially if you let it ask you enough questions and everything, it'll one shot the whole thing, and you can just add on what you
really?
want. Yeah, I have one. Is it right here? Maybe it's right here. Yeah, I have like this add Intel software, and I just open it up. So right, I have this like save Claude chat what I'm looking at in this other thing. Um, It's so slow. Actually, I gotta get off here. It might crash my computer. I did something wrong with it, but it's very slow. But you just click it, and then it has like all my ads and then the data, and then I just go to this other tab, and it's like generate new variation based off highest ROAS ads, and it'll generate me five. And instead of variation images, it'll generate me five prompts where I can go somewhere else and put the prompts in. So I'm not like burning credits generating random images. Or if I see the prompt and I'm like, I don't really like that, I can go change it when I go to another one. That's how I'm
Okay.
using it at the moment. Aside from that, I mean, I haven't even used it much super recently. But if you can build personal apps for yourself, calorie trackers, stuff like that.
Did you happen to listen to, do you still listen to My First Million?
No, not really.
They actually just did an episode of how like they use AI. And it's pretty crazy. And the guy Sam Parr, he built himself like a bunch of apps.
Mhm.
Like he built one where he like is into clothing now, and he uploaded like his body, like all his dimensions or whatever. And now all he does is take a screenshot of the sizing chart and he uploads it into this software and it tells him what size to buy from
That's
all
cool.
these different like it's like I don't know how many people would want that or whatever, but like the fact that like he did it in like a couple hours is insane. Like just stuff like that. It's kind of like, I wish I think I'm just like scared that it's just gonna waste a bunch of time or whatever. I don't know why, but I'm just like, it's gonna be so complicated. But I think I just need to try it and see what happens, because there's definitely some stuff that I could probably use it for, like AIP,
Mm.
um, which would be awesome to kind of get that going. We'll
Yeah.
see.
What you could do really, I mean, I don't know how you just have to if you could find some way to get data that's important. Like I don't know what's the most important metrics. Like this thing about that guy we recently interviewed, like he picks hot selling products, right? In like
Yeah,
certain categories. I mean, you could do something like that, I guess. Get data from Keepa maybe, and then you could upload it to a software, or maybe I mean I'm sure Keepa's API is like not expensive, so you might be able to
I
connect
think so.
Keepa with your software and just have it like generate you things to buy from Amazon and make videos on. Like, hey, how many of these fit this exact criteria, and then do it that way.
That's actually a good idea. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. That's like one of the bigger problems right now with the influencer program is there's just kind of it's kind of like where Amazon was, like, when we probably started selling. Like, there's just data in different, like, programs and softwares, and there wasn't just, like, one software or program that, like, has everything.
Mhm.
So, like, I'm using, like, 3 or 4 different softwares to kinda, like, piece it all together. So I was like, "Oh, man, if I could, like, kinda put something together, um, that could be, like, super helpful."
Yeah, if you can come up with a problem or you like, okay, I could use a software here, I'd help you. I'll help you try to make it. I know it's like really not hard, but however hard you think it is, it's like not nearly that hard.
After this, I'm gonna ask you something.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'll show you. I'll probably be able to build it live, like in 30 minutes or less. Like I can do this. I can do it pretty quick. I'd like to think I'm pretty good at this stuff. I use it every single day, like all day, especially the coding. Like I don't custom code apps all the time, but I do custom code like sales pages all the time. Not that I do it personally. I have no clue, but I have ChatGPT or Claude um, code the whole page into a block, and you can like just drag a block and it'll work every time. And these aren't just like these are very custom, like blocks in the middle of them. You can have interactive elements. I just coded some actually. This is pretty neat. So where I custom code these pages, it doesn't allow you to drag on like native things. So like an add to cart button. You can't just drag an add to cart button into a custom thing because the whole page is basically just blank. It's just this one block of stuff. And this is probably sounds super complicated, but I hope this is like simple enough for people to understand. But my problem was I couldn't get that on System E, which is where I build these pages. I couldn't use their native system, which is like you press add to cart, an email pop up comes up, and their pop ups are super ugly, but it pops up and they put their email in and it links to email software. So I had to find some way. This was really frustrating too, to custom code a button, an add to cart button that somebody would click. It would do a custom pop up that's nothing. This has nothing to do with System E. This is like all custom coded stuff. They put their email in there. It feeds the email to a Google Sheet. The Google Sheet wraps back around to System E and it puts their contact in System E and it tags their contact with a like front end abandoned. And then it checks it in 15 minutes. If they didn't purchase, it'll send them an email. So I had to do all this where like System E or system, whatever they call it, that already does that, but I couldn't because this page was custom coded. But it's not that hard to set up like
Hmm.
this is all free. Google Sheets, you can have data be put into this and then it feeds it back into another software. And then like that's their free API on there. It's not easy to do at all. But you talk to ChatGPT enough, you give it screenshots, like it can figure it out for you. But I got that figured out and it's like fully working and people's emails are getting fed in and everything. I don't have to touch it at all. And the buttons look pretty. It's all like custom in there. But that was all, I mean, that's all custom coded and it's just done with talking to ChatGPT or talking to Claude. Like, how do I do this? Like, I know there's some way to do it. And initially it'll tell you, no, there's no way to do it. It's too difficult. And I'm like, no, I know there's a way to do it. Like, this stuff has been around for a long time. It's not like I'm the first person to ever think about or having this problem. So it will solve it. You just have to press on it a little bit.
How long do you think that took you to do?
That took a while. I mean, that took like 2 or 3 hours. A lot of the time, funny enough, and this is probably what other
I feel
people.
like 2 or 3 hours isn't really that much time.
No, but I mean, most of my tasks just take a lot. less than that. So 2 to 3 hours is a lot when it comes to, I mean, but a lot of the time is me just sitting there frustrated and like, okay, I'm getting on my phone. Like I can't figure this out. I'm getting on my phone or, so if you just like don't do that, you can probably get it done a lot faster than I do. I just like crash out and like get pissed, and then I'll come back to it and go, okay, I can figure it out. I'll reset the conversation a lot of times because I have few. The way these LLMs work, they have context windows of like how much stuff they can really. You can tell them, and they can tell you at one time. So if you talk to them too much, they'll get slower and they'll get sloppy and they'll forget stuff that you talked about earlier. So it's good to just restart the conversation. And the way you can do that too is say, hey, out of everything we've talked about, give me a brief summary so I can put it into a new conversation, a new context window. So it'll pull that out of there. Yeah. Claude's got the next context window, I believe, maybe. But it'll automatically clean it up too. But if I want to take a conversation from Claude to ChatGPT that doesn't know, so I just say, give it a summary, tell me what files I need to attach, and I'll go to ChatGPT and do the same thing.
One of the most helpful things, I don't know if you do this, but like I've watched some like YouTube videos or whatever of like a strategy like someone's doing for AIP. Without watching the video, I just copy the transcript, put it in ChatGPT, and be like, what's this person's strategy? Like make me a checklist. And like then I listened to the video and it was exactly that person's strategy.
Yeah, I do that.
I was like, that's pretty crazy. Like I might do that for the My First Million podcast, be like, what are all the tools these guys talked about?
Yeah.
And then it just like spits it all out. I'm just like, damn.
Dude, this is some sauce that I learned from this guy, and it's not like a billion people are gonna watch this. But if you're somebody who like you want to make a digital product, you want to make something like that, the best way to do this is how he taught me to do it. I never thought about this before. It's very simple, but it works. Let's say for now I'm doing this like nervous system type thing offer. That's the new one I've launched. Instead of trying to find a bunch of forums and find a bunch of videos or try to do deep research, find one YouTube video that has tons of positive comments of like, this worked for me, this saved me, these type of things like that. You know, like the testimonials are right there. The shit worked for people. It's got thousands of likes or whatever. Take that transcript, put it into Claude, put it into ChatGPT, and say, I am making a product to solve this. I want to use this exact method, but get creative. You can add stuff, do not subtract stuff. So like, man, this works. We know this works. You can make a little more creative and then write me, this full product and build it all. So that's how I build the products is I take a YouTube video that I know works for people. I build the product based off that, make it as detailed as possible. I say, stay more concise than that person, but keep it highly engaging. And just assume is another thing I say, assume that people aren't going to actually read it, that they're only going to read the headlines. So for the headlines and the headers of the thing, make those really bold and engaging for people to go through them, to make them want to read them. So I do that. I get the big document out and I throw it into a gamma.ai, which turns documents into presentations. And that's how I create the actual like pretty looking presentation. And for my mail, if I do like a mail offer, I usually don't care as much. Like I'll sometimes just export a Google Doc, like don't even care. It's not like they need all the pretty stuff, but for the women products, I try to, use Gamma because it makes it look pretty. It's more engaging overall.
Yeah, the Gamma documents definitely look nice.
Yeah, it's cheap. Like I've made so many documents. I don't know what their limit is, but I've made, I don't even know, like 40 different documents this month on the $10 plan. And they haven't stopped me yet. So I don't know what their limit is, but you can make a lot of stuff that way.
Damn.
Yeah, Claude will do it for you. I don't know if ChatGPT will do it for you, but Claude will literally make you like a PDF. It just doesn't look as good as if you do it in Gamma, like throw it from a doc to Gamma, but they will do it. I don't know if Gemini does it either. They'll just generate you like a formatted PDF if you need to.
Yeah, what do you like almost think about like where this is going? Like I almost in my head, it's like, let's just say we were able to like get a really good, whether it's Claude or whatever, we get an agent, right? And they're just doing like podcast guest research all day. Who's going to be the best person to get on the podcast? Reach out, this, and like that all sounds like good and great, but it's like, how many people could we actually interview?
Yeah. What
you know what I mean? Like, how much work are these things going to do that like you really just don't need, but like you have this like thing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about like a podcast thing specifically, but I do think the problem is like white collar work. People that sit at desks and work in spreadsheets, call centers.
Sure.
Like if you're customer service, not sales, but customer service, That will definitely that will be gone, I think, within the next year and a half. I see some companies now that have really good voice things. It doesn't sound like a robot. I think that'll take over pretty fast when companies start implementing that. Because then you get to cut down like all these customer service things. You fire all the people from um, India or the Philippines or like where these call centers are a lot of times. You can fire them and just replace them with these bots. So I think that replaces a bunch of work, and then it replaces a lot of like spreadsheet work or like low creativity work. That's what I'm kind of telling all my friends in real life that have jobs like that. I'm like, you really need to learn this because when it happens, it'll happen really fast. It's just people are slow to adopt stuff, like especially at older
Yeah.
companies. You work at some older company, like they're not going to adopt that fast. But eventually they'll realize, oh, wait, I can fire half the company. We make double the money. Like, why wouldn't we use AI like that?
Yeah, I do wonder if it's either going to go that way or they like almost get so far behind that they're like, shit, like we need to figure this out.
I mean, they'll have to, like, with a competitive market. I mean, if you're in a local market, maybe. I'm just thinking, let's just think about accountants. I know a lot of people that are accountants. If you are an accountant in some little place in West Virginia and you're the only accounting firm there, you probably won't have to adopt AI like that. But
True.
if you're in a big city or even a decent city, or if you're competing online, if you don't do that, other people are going to be able to lower their costs while you can't. So you have to keep your costs high because you have a ton of employees, but these other people have most of this stuff automated for really cheap. So you like, how are you going to compete with those people? Like you're
That's
not.
true.
Like that, I would rather pay $50 a month for bookkeeping than $350 for bookkeeping. I don't care if an AI does it. Like it's still my
Yeah.
account. Like I don't know if an AI does it now. Like I don't even know how they do it now. So I don't really care if they tell me a robot's doing it now.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think, yeah, a lot of that stuff is just going to get like, I think one of the best parts about AI, like just going back to like having an accountant, it's just like you could, like AI is there 24/7. Like you're not waiting on a response. Like you're not having to get on a call. It's just like, hey, like here's my problem. What's the solution? And you could at least get a jump start on it. Like we've saved a ton of like trips to the vet. Like, oh, this is what our dog's eye looks like. Like, what do you think about this? Like, oh, like, give it a day or two. Obviously, like go see a vet, like if you're concerned or whatever. But like he just had like a little like goop like in his eye or something, or like, hey, what is this? It's like, oh, it looks like he might just have like an allergy or something like that. Like put something on it. Like we literally saved like 2 trips to the vet. Like it's just like, and then using it's like, okay, this is what his eye looks like today. This is what it looks like now. It's like, hey, from the first picture, does it look better? Oh yeah, it looks a lot better. You want me to show you? And it like puts all the photos together. You're like, yeah, this looks a lot better. And it just saves us, it has nothing to do with money. It's just like saves us 2 hours of like going there, waiting, get an appointment, like for them to be like, oh yeah, just like wipe it off with a washcloth. It's like we don't need that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that stuff. I think the argument too is people will be like, somebody might hear that and they might go, well, how are you going to trust the AI? And like, don't you need a vet or whatever? And it's like, dude, how many stories do you hear about you going to the doctor or going to the vet and they still fuck it up? Like they
Yeah.
get it wrong. Like I know somebody right now, they're sick and they've been sick for like 2 months, and they go to the doctor, and the doctor says, "You got a sinus infection, or you got this thing wrong with you. There's not really any medicine we can give you. We can give you this." And there's just two of them that are sick, and no one else is sick around them. I'm like, "Why? How do you have a viral infection? Like when no one else is getting sick, but you guys are sick." But this doctor might not consider the fact that maybe it's environmental. Maybe it's something in your vehicles. Maybe it's something in your house. They don't know that. And nor do they even really care about that. They just care about what's wrong with you right now, what medicines they can give you. Maybe the doctor doesn't even like realize that stuff in your house could really be affecting you. They don't know where you live. They haven't even asked questions like that. But AI will ask those questions. They say, hey, this has been the problem that's going on. Let's think about all possibilities here. Like it could be environmental, could it be viral, could it be um, a long-term health problem? Could this be something more serious? And then, okay, no one else around me is getting it. I give it all the details. It'll narrow it down really quick. And a lot of times it's
Yeah.
accurate. Like every time I do that,
Oh,
I'm like, oh, this is accurate. This solved it. told me recently I had something going on. I asked about like, why is this happening? Is this common? Searched the internet to see. I said, yes, this is very common. A lot of people recommend this supplement and this will fix it. I was like, all right, I'm just going to order the supplement. We'll see what happens. Took it like 2 or 3 times, completely fixed the problem. Like it's like a short term side effect of something. And I was just like, well, I would have probably never found that out. Definitely wouldn't have found that out from a doctor, but immediately AI just told me that. So I trust it just as much as I would trust anything because it's not biased. It's just like telling you what it sees online. It tells you the best answer that it has for all the data it has, and it's not going to have its own biases in it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100% because I've definitely used it for like some medical stuff, and like we're not saying to do that, so like do what you got to do. But like it's definitely been helpful, like more for like progression kind of photos. Like I like rolled my ankle, I don't know, a couple months ago, and it's like, hey, is this getting better? Oh yeah, it looks a lot smaller. Or like, what should I do? Like, it's just so helpful for stuff like that. I think like the back and forth questions, if anything, like whether it's right or wrong, I think it just puts you at ease. Like this is the problem. Like instead of like if you're like, all right, like I need to book a doctor's appointment to figure out, right? Like by the time you get a doctor's appointment, could be a week or two. You go there, like you get the supplement on Amazon in 2 or 3 days. It either works or doesn't work, and then you either move on or maybe then you call a doctor. Like whatever. So I do think that's like super helpful, and I find it so helpful for like documents and just hey, here's everything. Like, what do I have to do here? Is this true? Is this not true? Can I get in trouble for this? I think that kind of stuff, you do have to double check some of that stuff, but for the most part, I think it does a lot of the heavy lifting.
Yeah. The only warning I would give with this AI stuff, I should have said this at the beginning, but I've heard this a lot, and I don't really see people. I've heard this from people that I know that use it a lot, but I don't hear people really talk about this. Is AI is not going to do like make magic of what you're trying to do. Like I'll give the podcast titles a perfect example. Like I remember a few months ago, I would use AI. I was using Claude a lot, and you I assume use ChatGPT to come up with these
Yeah.
or Riverside, like what they give.
Yeah.
And okay, well, we're obviously not very good at titles because this podcast doesn't get a ton of views. So whatever we do, AI will amplify it. So if we make really shitty titles, AI is just going to give us 50 even shittier titles. Even we don't know if they're shitty because we don't know what a good title looks like. But the only way you
Right.
can do that is testing over time and seeing the old ones. Maybe you could, here's how I come up with the titles now. I'll send, you'll send some. I'll send like one recently. I go look up what is the most important thing we talked about. So like for the eBay thing, make $10,000 a month or make $100,000 on eBay. I look at the top 3 titles, the most viewed ones in the last few months, and I'm like, okay, let's take that title and make it a little bit better, and then do it that way instead of because then I know, okay, well, I know what's there. ChatGPT, I guess, could do that, but the only way for me to really know is like, okay, well, why are people clicking that video? Like, why would I click on that video versus, whatever AI might
Right.
think? So you have to have like a fundamental understanding of what you're doing. And a lot of people, that this comes from the guy like mentor me, they don't need an addition diet. Like you don't need to add stuff. It's like perfect for when you're like losing weight. You don't need a Whoop bracelet. You don't need a new gym membership. You don't need extra protein. You don't need protein powder. A lot of times you just need to stop eating. So cut down that, go to the gym in a specific time period every day and do specific exercises. Like you need to just elimination diet. And AI makes that kind of hard because it's like, hey, generate me 5 titles, generate me 10 more, generate me 20 more. It's like, well, dude, if you say generate me 15,000 titles, it will do that. But how does that
Yeah.
do you any good, at all? So a lot of times you just need subtraction in what you're doing to make it better, not addition. And I think
I think
AI
that's a
does the opposite.
yeah, I think that's a really good point too. Because if you typed into AI, hey, make the title around making $10,000 a month or whatever, that's all it shoots out, which is like not good either. Because like, and then what you can't really walk that back. It's
No.
like, all right, forget about that. It's like, no, it's going to keep going with that. Like the next set of titles will just be like that. So I do think that's a really good point. Like it's not going to like it has to be used as a tool. Like it's not gonna like, hey, ChatGPT, how can I make $10,000 this month? Like maybe you'll get some answers, but for the most part, you'll be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. How can I make more money doing that? Like, you have to come to the table with something.
Yeah, definitely. I think it'll get to the point where it can get more creative. But right now, just the way it works is it learns off of like the data it has. So for it to be creative, it can be creative to an extent, but it can only know what it knows. It can't know what it doesn't know. Where we can kind of generate ideas that like you cannot know something and then think about it in the shower and you come up with a brand new idea that
Yeah.
wasn't in your brain before. But ChatGPT, Claude, they're not going to do that. That's where it becomes an issue. And a lot of this stuff, especially when you're talking about titles, thumbnails, offers, hooks, videos, this needs to be unique. Like inherently, it needs to be unique because it needs to get attention, and attention comes from stuff being unique. So when you do that, it like limits your ability to create unique ideas. That I think
Yeah.
that becomes a big problem, and why I'm trying to like do more of this stuff in my head. And even the prompting for the thumbnails, if I see maybe 5 ideas and I'm like, okay, what parts of these ideas are decent?
If you could just take 2 seconds and subscribe to this YouTube channel, we would greatly appreciate it. We're trying to get to 5K subscribers by the end of the year, and the more subscribers we have, the better guests we can get for you. So you literally just take 2 seconds right now, hit subscribe. It will also let you know when new episodes go live and everything we're up to. Thank you so much.
And then I'll say, hey, write me a prompt for this kind of idea, that I can prompt it that way instead of just directly taking, this thing, paste it in there. Maybe ask some more questions, add my own creativity to it. And if
I
you're
think
good,
that's a
that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I think that's a really important part to know too. It's like, I think for, I guess, the podcast or just if you're making content in general, like, I think there comes a point where it's just like, oh, make it sound like Alex Hormozy. It's like, well, there's already an Alex Hormozy.
Yeah.
Like, now we're just copycat Alex Hormozys, and like, that's not really helpful because, like, I'm guessing people hopefully listen because, like, we have a different perspective or a unique perspective or whatever you guys like about this podcast. That's why you're listening. But if we just start making like Alex Hormozy style, like, you're just gonna go watch his because his is gonna be 10 times better.
It's him.
He's Alex Hormozy. Like, we can't copy him. So I do think there's gonna come like a point where it's just like, okay, like, you just have to bring something to the table.
Yeah, definitely. And you yourself is the most unique thing out there. Like no two individuals are the same, even twins. You have different
Yeah.
ideas. So you can't. Don't let AI do all your thinking for you. That's a big message there. That's why. Well, this guy that I'm working with, he says, I don't care if you use AI, just like put some mental work into it. Like
Yeah.
don't just use AI and just give me what AI said. Like that's not really the point there. It's just you figure out what's good in part of the AI, and I'll tell you if I think it's good, and we can go from there. Instead of just, hey, generate me a bunch of ideas. Hey man, which one of these looks good? It's like you didn't even do that. You didn't even think about it. You got to think about it before you do it.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's like what you put in is what you get out. You put like no thought into like your prompt and just for like, hey, how do I make more money? It's really not going to help you. Now there are some uses, like if you use AI enough, you could do like, oh, knowing what you know about me, like how can I increase revenue? Or it is helpful sometimes on like kind of bad days where you're just like, hey, like things aren't going well. They'll be like, oh, like according to last month, like based on what you were doing, like it looks pretty good. Like what you're doing, you're like, oh yeah, like you're right. He's like, you just keep going, like kind of stuff like that. I think that's like really good too with like entrepreneurship or like having a business or whatever. Like even like texting, you're like, oh, I'm gonna be on pace for a record day, and then the next day you're like, I just lost $200, and it's just like, but you made like $800 yesterday. You're like, oh yeah, I kind of forgot about that. So I think it's good for that.
Yeah, I mean, I will. I mean, I've never had like too many issues with that shit. You've watched me lose money over and over. I always
Yeah.
just know, like, I don't know. I don't think I'm not a person that believes that positive affirmation is good, though. So I am a contrarian on that. I believe that a lot of times you need to get smacked in the face, like to learn
Yeah.
what's wrong with you. So I think that's actually not the most positive thing about AI is that it always tells you you're right. And it's like, dude, you're not right all the time. And most people are stupid. So if you're stupid and AI keeps telling you you're smart, like that benefits you none. So I try to be harsh on me. Like, do not. I even have this in both AIs that I use. I have challenge my ideas. And like if I say something, like you need to challenge that each time. Um, because if not, it's just going to tell you all your stuff's a good idea, and like it's not. If you were full of these good ideas, like you, but everybody, me, if I was full of these good ideas, I probably wouldn't need AI as much, huh? Like I'd probably be able to just create the ideas. So it's like
True.
it'll tell you, hey, this is good. It's like, well, if I really was as good as it thinks I am, I wouldn't need it. I could just do all the stuff myself. That's like an inherent problem with them. That'll never be fixed because that's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to make you feel good. If you were using it and it made you feel negative, you wouldn't use it as much. So
Yeah, that was probably a bad example what I just gave. I guess for me, the one I gave, I was like, oh, I feel like I made no progress in 2025, and then I uploaded like basically all my numbers from 2024 and then all from 2025. It's like actually you did much better than you did. And I was like it didn't feel like that in the moment. But then like seeing the actual numbers on like a chart was like, okay, you did.
yeah.
It's like I'm just never satisfied, so that's a whole nother problem.
Yeah, and then I don't know, a lot of the stuff like that though, for you to ask it that and then be like, hey, where did I improve? Like, what was the actual significant improvement? Like, if I didn't get a 2% pay raise, but like, what grew the most, and then what should I focus on in the next year?
Yeah.
Like, but that's I think a great way to use it too. That's how I use it on these off. Like, I'll have baseline numbers because it'll have different baseline numbers than what I consider good. So I have like baseline numbers. Hey, what is the front end take rate? What's the OTO1 take rate? OTO2 downsell take rate? Here are all my numbers. Where am I good here? And like, what's good to improve? And a lot of times there's just a clear signal standing out of like, actually everything can stay the same. You just need to double your click through rate on your ad, and the whole offer doubles. And I'm like, oh yeah. And that's probably pretty easy to double the click through rate. I just got to make twice as engaging ads. And just if everything else stays the same, you're good. Or like my OTO, my first one-time offer upsell, it's $47. It gets taken 30% of the time. Every 10 people, 3 people take it. Well, why don't you just double that? So if the number stays the same, then now it's double. It's like, well, I didn't really think about it like that, but you might as well test it. And I think it dropped from 30% to 26%. So but the revenue added was 100%, over 100%, it was like 120% revenue added for the exact same take rate. But you can do that in your life. Like, just kind of, what's the thing that can move the needle most here that requires the least amount of effort? What's the easiest thing to make my life better in the current situation? I don't know if that's the best way to word it, but
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, or I mean, going to the gym like this year, like losing weight. I went to the gym a lot at the beginning of the year, but I've been slacking off. Like I skipped today. I'm definitely not going, whatever. But how do I lose weight? It's not going to the gym. It's not eating food. Like calories make you lose weight. So I technically could not go to the gym at all and still lose weight. So that would be the thing. Okay, instead of forcing myself to exercise more, which I am doing that anyways, or force myself to do more cardio, it's like, okay, so where are my calories here? Like, where am I getting destroyed on calories? It's obviously drinking for me. So it's like, okay, if I can cut down my days of drinking, or when I drink, can I drink less calorie things overall? Then how does that affect the rest of the week? How does that affect my weight loss? That stuff can be dramatic. And maybe that's obvious in hindsight. Like, obviously, you shouldn't be drinking all the time. But that's just the difference between, okay, maybe you drank Friday and Saturday. Now just cut out the Friday. Just try to do something a little bit healthier on Friday, and then you can drink Saturday like normal. Or whenever you drink, make sure you don't order Domino's at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'll do something like that, because that'll really destroy the diet for the next week.
Yeah, like I think that's like one of the biggest things I've learned about like diet and gym and like everything. It's like you could do select things. So like for example, if you go out to a restaurant, like you could have dinner and you could drink. You can't really throw dessert on in there. Like you can't have all 3, but you could have 2 of the 3, and I find that to be like pretty accurate. It's just like you can't do all 3, but you can do 2 of those every once in a while. But yeah, you're right. It just like comes down to, it's like eating less. Am I even really hungry? Like there's all these like different little factors. And like, yeah, at the end of the day, it's like calories in, calories out. Like I go to the gym every day. Like you could go to the gym every day and still not lose any weight if you're not eating like correctly. So there's always just these little caveats.
Yep. I don't know why I went on a weight loss tangent there, but that was just an example of the AI. You can put your diet in. You can put your Go to Chronometer. I use Chronometer specifically. Most people use what's the big MyFitnessPal.
Yeah, I use my
Screenshot your MyFitnessPal for the days and then say, like, I've obviously not tracked everything here, but is there any like glaring obviously thing here that's ruining my diet? And then it'll tell you, because it can recognize patterns like that. It can see stuff that maybe you won't see because your own biases. Maybe you'll just be like, well, this might be essential. So you might say, no, that's not essential at all.
I just never thought about putting MyFitnessPal. I think you can actually download all your MyFitnessPal data.
You can. Yes, that'd be easy.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that.
Which you're probably like me. I mean, I'm not accurate enough to where like the data would be that great, really. Like I track my numbers for my offers every day, but I don't track every calorie I eat. But a lot of times I don't track it because I know I'm under for the day, so I'm just not going to track it.
Sure.
But I don't know. That can get risky because then you can just think that you're eating less than you are, but you're not actually tracking everything.
I think I tend to eat like similar things all the time. So like a lot of the stuff's already in there.
Yeah.
And like I tend to like overestimate too, where I'm just like, okay, like if I think it's this many calories, I'll be like, I'll just put another ounce or two on there just in case. So yeah.
How many calories do you eat every day?
Like 2,400.
Dang.
I don't nearly hit it though. I'm usually like, I would say like 18. I haven't been eating like lunch lately for whatever reason. I just have breakfast and dinner.
I eat 1,300 to 1,500 calories a day.
Damn.
But I've lost 15 pounds. I mean, at this point, I think I weighed myself. Let's see here. I have it on my phone really quick. I weighed myself on the 17th. Oh, that's yesterday. I was 208.6 with heavy sweatpants on. And after I had ate a pretty decent meal the night before and hadn't got rid of the meal yet. So let's say that's an extra 2.5 pounds. So I'm probably around 206 from 220. So that's 14 pounds down.
Yeah.
Realistically, I'm probably a little bit below that. So maybe it's not the healthiest way to lose weight, but I feel fine. And once I get it over with, as long as I don't just pig out, I can probably keep it off for a bit.
Yeah, that's my goal this time around, is like to get down and just keep it that way.
Yeah, it's hard. It's just
that's the hard part. It's like to yo-yo, because it's like it's just that one thing. It's like, oh, like I don't know. Have you ever done it with like drinking? Like you don't drink alcohol for like a week or two, and you're like, oh, I feel so great. And then for some reason, you're like, I can get one night in, and then it just goes to shit, and you're just like, why did I do that?
Yeah, that happens.
That was
all
stupid.
the time. Which I'm trying to. That's another. It wasn't a New Year's resolution or anything, but I think I'm gonna stop drinking a lot, like coming up in the future. I'm not. I really enjoy drinking. I think it's a.
I do too.
I think it's a good, social thing. I'm not a very social guy, dude. Like it's funny because I do this podcast. People act like people might think I'm social, but in real life, I just don't really like talking to people I don't know. But if I'm drunk, I'll talk to anybody. But I'm going to try in the future. I realize I don't need to talk to a bunch of people. I can be a little hermit that does his podcast and does his offers. I don't really need to be a social guy. So I'm going to try to cut down a lot going forward. And who knows when I'll have kids in the future. And I'm like, I don't want to drink a lot when I have children.
Yeah.
That's a big thing that I'm like a believer of. I feel like that causes a bunch of problems. So I'm going to try to cut back. And yeah. What's your favorite drink? We're way off topic, but dude, we've been talking an hour. Yeah. But for reference, anybody that's somehow still around after all these conversations, me and John did a podcast last week, and we did 35 minutes. And I go, dude, this is terrible.
I might download it just in case. I'm like, oh, it'll be like released.
It was so bad. I mean, I just like really couldn't focus. I wasn't very high energy. And I've only been doing this offer stuff. So I was like, I didn't even care. I'm just going to talk about it on this one because it has to do with the AI. But it's like, dude, how many people are doing what I'm doing? I can guarantee you 0. So like, you guys might find 0 value in what I'm talking about. Yeah. But like, I have nothing else to talk about, literally. It's just I'm losing weight and just doing offers. I have nothing else interesting in my entire. I pay attention to politics, but I'm not trying to talk about that. So
yeah, no. Favorite drink is probably lemon Eddies and seltzer.
Lemon what?
Seltzer. Eddies.
Lemon Eddies.
You've not had lemon Eddies?
No.
Bro, it's great for calories, and you just need plain seltzer to go with it.
How do you even spell this?
I think it's LEMON and then EDDY.
Lemon Eddie. Oh, this is like you make this yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've not ever seen this, but it does have good reviews everywhere, huh?
Bro, we went to their factory a year or two ago. So good. Like, it's basically like a lemonade, but like lighter. It's hard to explain. I think you would like it because it's super low calorie. So all your mixer is plain seltzer, which is 0 calories.
I might try this like this weekend. I've never heard of
It's
this.
amazing. Like, I think you're gonna like. They have different flavors too. They have, I think, cranberry, a pineapple, and an orange. The lemon's the best in my opinion. They also have a lime.
You know,
You can mix it with whatever you want, but plain seltzer seems to be the right mix. We've tried it with Sprite, and it's too much for me, or Diet Sprite rather. But yeah, it gives you that perfect like. I like the fizz in it too. It's like a light lemonade fizz drink, and it's so smooth. And next day, like I don't really have a hangover or anything like that. Like it doesn't give me a headache or anything.
My drink of choice is light twisted tea. You like twisted tea?
I've actually never had the light one. The twisted tea is like too sweet for me.
Yeah,
I'm drinking like something like that. We drink the Surfsides.
Yeah,
those
Surfsides are big. Those are
really good.
Light twisted teas are cheap. They're 110 calories, 4% alcohol or something. Man, those are like water. I really think.
Really?
Yeah, you can drink like 10, 15 of them, and you're not. I mean, you're gonna be drunk, but you won't feel too bad. I love those. Try some light twisted teas next time you see them. That's my drink of choice. That makes me sound super gay, but I just like them. Okay, that's my favorite thing.
If you're still listening to the podcast at this point, drop your favorite drink in the comments so we know you're a true fan.
Or if you
I don't know if that will get it banned or not, but I guess we'll see what happens.
No, there's alcohol on YouTube channels.
You got anything else?
Nah, I think this was fairly productive. Besides this last 5 minutes,
better than our last one that we did that we had to throw away.
Definitely.
All right, guys, like, subscribe. If you guys have any guest recommendations, shoot me a DM or leave them in the comments as well. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Peace.